Gen Z has broken the street culture curse, and they need credit.
The fact that the streets are being labeled as lame.
I hate when you arguing with a hood person and they be like, cause you're not straight. You're not straight. You're not straight. You're not from the hood. You grew up with your parents. So
Gen Z has broken the street culture curse, and they need credit. When it's time to dogpile on people, we gonna do that. But when it's time to congratulate, we need to be just as loud. There are significantly less gang members in Gen Z. Significantly less street dudes. And I'm proud of y'all for that. I really am. Because we needed a generation to completely reject that entire way of thought. Because doing the opposite has broken families and created generational traumas for everybody involved. Gen Z is the generation that across the board has decided it doesn't even make sense to sacrifice your life for people who tell you that your life is worth nothing. Young Thug told Gunna, if we go to jail and do life, we just do life. And then we try to figure out how to get out. What sense does that make? None. That's what sense it makes. That line of thought is something that only can exist in the mind of someone who is exceptionally immature and hooked, connected to their trauma. Money Mitch told you he loved the game, and then the game took his life. Gen Z doesn't want that, and I applaud y'all for it.
Man, I remember growing up, if you wasn't street or had some type of ties to like being hood or being street, you was a lame. People would really be like, bro, you ain't got no real struggle. People would really try to roast you because you rather not be in the streets. But I believe that Gen Z is growing up in a generation where there's so many other options of things that you can be because they're able to see it all over the internet. There's so many different people other than putting yourself in a box of some type of street culture, especially when we're able to see the street culture in real time rather than just seeing the street culture in cool movies. We're able to see that these dudes do not actually follow their own rules. We're able to watch videos about prison and jail and realize that really ain't no cool place to be. While you over here rapping, talking about fresh out, free such and such, Gen Z does not want to repeat that.
The fact that the streets are being labeled as lame, bro, what? If only we had that patch method back then. Streets was always deemed as cool, being gangster, cool, being tough, cool, ruining people's days on a day-to-day basis, whether it's fighting or cursing people out or even bringing guns to school was considered cool. Now the fact that the great shift is happening, everything is changing, being that kind of African-American male makes you a lame. Thank you. It's about damn time. I just can't wait for the music to finally start to catch up. The CIA has swept over and over and over again, and it looks like we just might make a 3-1 comeback. Thank you, God. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to have a lot of faith in the next generation of black kids.
See, it's not only black kids that perpetuate the street culture, though. There's a lot of kids in other races as well that perpetuate street culture. But I understand what he was trying to say. One of the most important things that he just said was that it was cool to bring a gun to school. It was cool to be bad when we were younger. See, this is the thing. The way I see the street culture is like cops and robbers. It's like a game of cops and robbers that never stopped being played. When we were kids, everybody was kind of into something a little dumb, because we really didn't know right from wrong. So being a bad kid was no surprise because you're a kid that doesn't really know much. As you climb the ages and you never grow out of that cops and robbers game, you never grow out of this is my street and that's your street game, you find yourself playing the adult version of cops and robbers because you never actually matured to be able to introspect and say, what am I doing as an adult? I am repping this street. Okay, I rep this street, and then what? Like I said in my Red Pill video, then what? Like, what are you trying to be, the biggest street of the city? But you own nothing on the street. When you really break down the logic of a lot of the street culture and how they even got there, you will realize that these are a whole bunch of adults that never matured mentally and purely act off of emotion.
But before we get into that, I found a way that y'all could make some side hustle money on your phones. But the only thing is that you have to play games on your phones. And I know that a lot of people do not like playing games on their phone and stuff like that, but this is an easy way to make some bread. Even if you only make an extra $100 or $200 a month, that could pay a couple bills just by playing games on your phone. And if you click my link in the description below or in the comments below, you could start out with a free $5. These companies are literally paying people just for y'all to play games on your phone. That is crazy. But just try it out. Go peep the games that they have. If you don't like it, hey, it is what it is. But I say it's worth a try.
Street niggas are not genuine at all. They grew up in a survival-based environment, so they don't want to make connections for real. They just want to see what they can get out of people. They're good at analyzing people. They're also good at human psychology, even though they don't study it. They pay attention to body language, mannerisms, just to see if you soft or you an easy lick. If they study all this just to see if they can get over on you. All they want to do is see what they can get from you. Nobody is genuine in the streets. They all fake. Think about it. They had to struggle all day life. Their lifestyle is what can I get from others? What can I do to survive? Be careful around street people. They're not regular people. Their minds don't function the same. Street people are narcissists. You know the saying, hurt people hurt people? There is no honor among thieves. A street nigga will snake you without even thinking twice. The people you help often are the ones who hurt you because their loyalty was not to you, it was to their need. Once their problem is solved, they don't see you as a savior. They see you as a reminder of their weakest moment. Rather than acknowledging who lifted them up, they'd rather convince themselves that they climbed there on their own. Helping someone doesn't mean that they'll respect you. It means that they'll resent the fact that they needed you in the first place.
Bro, Gen Z is different, bro. The internet has really played good and bad, but the way these little brothers is breaking down the science of the streets and how street dude thinks is beyond me at their young ages. A part of what he just said, how people in the streets are constantly in survival mode and they'll say whatever they gotta say to get by. They're constantly sizing you up to see how they can finesse you. These are the skills you need to have in order to survive in the streets. You have to be able to adapt like a chameleon so people don't really know your motives. That's why it confuses me when women aim for street dudes. If a dude is capable to finesse everybody else for his own gain, what makes you think you're gonna walk into his life and he's just gonna say, I'm just not gonna do that with you? How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if that's in your character to finesse somebody for your gain, no matter what happens to that person, there's a high chance that it can happen to you. Where everybody in the streets do it, maybe not, but it's a very high chance that if I'm a motivational speaker in my real life, at some point in time in our relationship, you're gonna get a motivational speech. Or there's a very high chance that if I do finances as a profession, at some point I'm gonna sit you down at a table and I'm gonna advise you about your finances. If I do cable, there's a very high chance that at some point I'm going to be the one to fix our cable if the cable goes out. So if I'm used to committing crimes, lying to people, finessing people, my empathy level is extremely low because I need to just survive to see the next day. So I don't really care about nobody else. There's a very high level, if that's my job, that at some point you might feel that. So how you do one thing is how you do everything until you heal that part of you. So ladies, why are y'all walking into a street guy's life trying to make him honest?
I hate when you arguing with a hood person and they be like, cause you're not straight. You're not straight. You're not straight. You're not from the hood. You grew up with your parents. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
What's wrong with that?
What is that supposed to mean? Like, nobody wants to be from the hood. You see these lights? You see these motherfuckers? Wait, so it's so many of them in here. I can't really point them out. But they was on my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't be arguing with you because you see this brain? It went to a nice high school and college. So, like, that don't got nothing to do. Like, what does upbringing have to do with what we discussing in the moment? It doesn't.
No, that's facts, bro. So many people would use their upbringing being the trenches or being so hard and tough as a way to gain respect like today. And people that are of some type of sound mind as an adult, you probably understand how to really use a gun. I'm talking about my men, you know, for the most part. You probably understand how to use a gun. You probably know some type of martial arts. And you are probably much more emotionally regulated than somebody that grew up in the streets or the hood that never dealt with their past traumas. So you can handle a situation a lot better than somebody that was 13 years old being bad in class. Because nothing pisses me off more than when people try to talk about them being from the hood, and then you find out that they were like 14 years old in the hood, 15 years old in the hood, 7 years old in the hood. People will spend 3 years in the hood from 4 to 7 years old at their grandmother's house and be repping that they're from the trenches. And you just have to ask yourself, why? Why can't you just be you? Why is poverty a badge of honor? Why is making bad decisions in the streets a badge of honor? Why is seeing a jail cell one of the best things on your resume? And to my people that grew up in the streets and my people that have spent time in jail, most sound-minded people understand that that is not a place to be. That is not a place I want to be.
Yo, you should join my gang, bro. We're 30 grown men with no futures, bro. We don't ever go to school. We don't ever work 9 to 5s, bro. We only have dirty money.
That sounds lame and childish.
Nah, bro. You're lame, bro. You're lame if you don't join us, bro. You're lame as fuck.
So do y'all have money?
Hell yeah, we're having motion, bro. Peep the chain.
How you
My
talking?
shit glistening.
Nah, like houses, like property, equity, like any long-term assets.
Nah, bro. But my shit blanging though. My shit really blanging. My shit shining.
You realize if you all just got jobs and pulled the money, you'd have way more, right?
Nah, bro. Fucking occupation. We don't do jobs, bro.
So you're unemployed.
Nah, bro. We work for ourselves. We're self-made, self-businessmen.
Isn't your homie doing 25 to life for your crime right now?
Yeah, bro. He's hella solid. He'll never snitch.
But didn't you fuck his girl?
Yeah, but I mean, he'll never know. Yeah, bro. We get hella bitches, bro. I have 4 kids that I've never seen. And I'm
No
still
honor amongst
pulling
thieves,
hoes,
bro.
bro. Look. Hey, Keisha, I'm broke as fuck. Come fuck me. Okay. Come be my 5th baby mom. I'll stay this time. Okay, daddy. I'll be at your crib. Okay.
Yo, bro, didn't you have a large friend group before getting into this stuff?
Well, yeah, most of them are dead or in prison.
So is this just like your life? Like no legitimate money, no plans for the future, like at all?
What do you mean future, bro? We're trappers for life. Trapping out the bando. Selling drugs, stealing cars, scamming, bro. Get with the program.
Y'all realize y'all are joining something, y'all are joining a lifestyle where you can't even get too close to anybody. Because at any point, this man that you play the game with every day, he can be in a grave at any point because of the game y'all are playing. Life is about checks and balances. Is it worth looking over your shoulder for the police, for the ops, because you could possibly lose your life at any point, or your homies could possibly lose their life? You don't know which homie's gonna snake you because all of y'all are some shady people. You don't have any tangible assets for if you do die, you get to leave it behind. Y'all be having a pocket full of money, but no life insurance for your families. All for what? To say you're part of the streets? To play the adult version of cops and robbers because you never grew out of playing the game? At some point, you got to sit down and ask yourself, just by yourself, what am I doing? I got to get out of this. Or I shouldn't get in this. I think some people get so caught into the people that actually survive the street life and they're able to tell their story. When you talk to somebody that survived the street life, I want you to ask them all of their stories, okay? Ask them how many friends they lost. Ask them how many friends are in prison. You will realize that the chances of making it out of the streets is very low. And even when you do make it out of the streets, you walk out with nothing. Now you done finally put down the adult version of cops and robbers and say, you know what? I want to live an honest life. But you have nothing to show for it. You try to get a job, you have nothing on your resume. You try to start a real business, you don't even understand business. You try to go back to school, you realize, damn, I don't know nothing on these papers because I was just playing when I was a kid. Streets don't accept you. Because a lot of people will say, well, the streets were the only place I felt like I had a home. The streets do not love you. And in fact, instead of showing y'all my next video, I want to show you guys a poem of how the streets don't love you back.
Just saying, I've learned not to judge a people for how they grieve. Learn not to judge the hood for how it loves you back. Love from the hood. And honor only bestowed on those who showed the hood the most unwavering of loyalties. I'm talking street niggas. Most literally from cradle to grave. Most literally from corner to coroner. Most literally niggas who hug the block in their last moments gasping for air. Right before yellow tapes makes a spectacle of their bodies sprawled on cement. If the hood loves you, she'll make a monument of this location. They will bring teddy bears, well wishes, and heavy hearts. This is now sacred ground, to be renamed as memorial and landmark. This is no longer Jefferson Avenue, but where Twig got shot. For the next 6 nights, you'll see candles like this space holy. Until the wind blows, it's silent. Until the amber is blown in the direction of the summer's next casualty. If the hood loves you, she'll write it in tombstone text. A boy's face and childhood nickname will be written in script across a double XL white tee. Ain't it funny how quickly death becomes fashionable? A testament to how tragic memories don't fade. Even in a washing machine, you can expect your closest of kin to tattoo your name in the most visible of places. Your birthday in Roman numeral will kiss the left side of your little sister's collarbone long before a boy ever does in grief. We graffiti murals. That's how Biggie and Pac got faces in places that they never called home. I know boys who've bore the weight of pallbearer long before the rigors of college, but the most famous of us will have streets named in our honor. Martin Luther King Drive and Malcolm X Boulevard both debunk the myth of respectability and proves that no matter the politics, all black boys are doomed to die by bullets. But how can you complain when the hood loves you? And we gonna keep loving you long after the gravel has swallowed your portion of the 40. Long after they've packed that car with vengeance. Long after another boy's life is taken in retaliation of yours. Continuing the cycle of trauma and street violence. Yes, y'all. The hood will love you enough to murder for you, but never enough to snitch. Yes, y'all. I know who did it. I was there when they bought the 4/5. Yes, y'all. I watched the news. I listened as they emptied the clip. And yes, y'all, I'll do it again. Yes, y'all, I'll do it again. Damn motherfucking right, I will do it again because I miss my brother so much. But that don't mean that I agree with what they did. That just means I've learned not to judge a people for how they grieve. Learn not to judge the hood for how it loves you back.
Amazing, man. That guy's name is Stephen Willis. How the Hood Loves You Back.
Little by little, city by city, kids are seeing how stupid this street shit is. Kids are seeing how pointless glorifying this bullshit is because the niggas who promote it don't even follow the fucking rules that they try to apply on others. It's a destructive, degenerate mindset. You have grown men damn near or well into their 30s. Some of them are approaching their 40s, still trying to fucking play street politics. Nigga, go raise your kids. And if you a grown-ass man, the only reason why you should be willing to go to jail is behind protecting your wife or kids. If you are willing to sit in a jail, a prison, a penitentiary for years, decades on end, protecting another man for a gang code, away from women, away from your kids, you might got some sugar in your tank. You might be on the DL, nigga.
Yo, nah, for real though, like, how do you risk your whole life for another man? Just for that man to be free and be trying to sleep with your girl. Or you possibly come out of jail and nobody even remembers you. Or you realize that by the time you get out of jail and you think you're gonna get some type of respect because you served all that time, all of those people are either extremely old and they done got their life together, or they're dead or in another jail. Like, I don't even want to sign up to play that game, that adult version of cops and robbers. There's so much more to life. But I think y'all get the point. Shout out to Gen Z for killing the street code with logic. So now I want to hear what y'all got to say. So like I say in all of my videos, if you want to make a little bit of money playing games on your phone, all you got to do is click the link in the description below or the link in the comments below. These apps and these companies are literally paying people just to play games on your phone. That is crazy to me. So all you got to do, like I said, is just sign up. You're going to see a list of games with how much money you can make right next to the game. So if you catch yourself making money, make your money. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's for you and you catch yourself making some money, then make your money. But I say you just try it out anyways. Anyways, y'all, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on my post notifications, and hit that hype button too so we could push this out to more people. Until next time, y'all, it's been your boy, Ty Boogie. I'm out of here, man. Peace.